Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. I am here at the Good Shepherd Food Bank, checking on the bees here, removing a bit of honey, and I'm accompanied by Meg Clouther, who's here also shooting video and taking pictures for the Good Shepherd Food Bank's, what is it?
Marketing communications team.
A marketing communications team.
For our Mainers Feeding Mainers program.
Right, and I'm taking part in that Feeding Mainers program. And some of the honey we're taking off here is going to be going into that. So Meg's taking a few pictures, and you'll see Bee Whisperer pictures in a variety of other options from Good Shepherd Food Bank. So what we're doing here, Meg, at the moment, just showing you, Meg's never been in a bee yard before. So unfortunately, it's a really cloudy, close day, really muggy. Lots of humidity. I suppose the fact it's cool makes it a little more comfortable for us, but the bees are a little bit frustrated right now. The clustering at the entrance is very common when we have high humidity in the weather. This is what's called bearding at the front, where they're hanging from the bottom here. And when they're bearding like this, basically what they're doing is having some of the bees out of the hive to allow air to be circulated in the rest of the hive to keep the temperature under control. Later in the day, when the sun comes out and the flowers are producing nectar, these bees will be off in the field, because we're now starting to get into what's called the honey flow, or the flow of nectar. And so these bees will be as busy as anything in another couple of hours, 2 or 3 more hours. But right now, they're hanging around waiting for the scout bees to come back and say, the bees are producing nectar, let's go and get it. So in the meantime, we have a couple of hives set up with what's called the bee escape here. The bee escape board, which is this board here, is like a one-way door on the hive. I'm going to set this up over here on a hive with a bee escape and 2 supers. I don't know if we'll be able to see us and everything we're doing anyway, but the bee escape, basically what it is like a one-way door. So the bees can go out of these boxes that I've set up that are full of honey, and they'll go down into the rest of the hive. So I should be able to take these parts out and see relatively few bees in here, 2 or 3, so I can put that in the truck with no problem. Okay, so what we'll do is, just to get your pictures and things,
Yep.
We're going to take honey off of that hive, this hive, this hive, and hopefully that one. That hive here with the cameras on had a problem. I tried to take the honey off the other day, and it was still full of bees, so I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to, because it could be that the escape board's not working properly there. But these ones, really, all I need to do now is take lift the boxes off, because there should be relatively few bees in here, and hopefully I'll go home with eight more supers of honey. That's one. I'll stack it up here for the moment until the bees find it and they start taking it back.
Found a better way to do it.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you what the escape board. See how there's very few bees in those boxes. That's not to say that there aren't a lot of bees in the rest of the colony. Now the one-way door works pretty well. I'm just going to close things up just so we don't stir them up today. So what I did is, before I took this honey off, is I put an empty box on there to make sure they had plenty of room to go back in. I'm just going to blow a bit of smoke towards you.
Okay. Thank you.
And feel free to keep stepping back out of the area, and then as you come back, it takes them a little while to think, okay, I better check on that person coming near the hive. And what I tell my students is that if the bees are cranky and it's not urgent to get the job done today, do it another day. And right now we know that if we stirred these bees up too much, they'd get really cranky. In another few hours that'll be different, but there's no point in stirring them up, especially with a novice around. Because we don't want to make you too nervous of the bees, because maybe one day you'll want to keep bees.
Yeah.
Now I'll see if this escape board has worked this time after an additional few days. And if it hasn't, well, I'll come back with the fume board and get them out that way. Yeah, we still have bees up here. Something's wrong with that fume. It's not too bad. So we have about another 250 pounds of honey removed, and probably got another half dozen hives to get honey off at the moment. But anyway, it's too hot and muggy to continue, sweating too much, so I'm having enough. Had enough this morning. So I'll go back to the hothouse and start extracting instead. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. See you next time.